This week on Top Travel, Jeannie and Janez reunite to explore Rwanda. They learn about the country's troubled past and its inspirational turnaround via the Genocide Museum. They tour Hotel Rwanda, made famous by the movie, before popping into the city's buzziest restaurant and bar. After a night at Kigali's most luxurious hotel, they blend their own coffee before taking a gorilla trek through the Volcanoes National Park.
Rwanda is a very small country in Africa, and slap bang in the middle of the country you find its main city, Kigali, population 1 million.
I knew very little of Rwanda before arriving there. To be honest, going into Rwanda, I thought I was going into wild Africa.
Finally, we've made it to beautiful Rwanda. Now, it's known as the land of 1,000 hills and 1,000,000 smiles, but it wasn't always known for that.
I have so many unanswered questions about this incredible country, and in many ways, it has a similar history to South Africa because we went through democracy, they went through one of the most brutal genocides known to man. But what I want to know is, why did it happen? Why did the international community not get involved? And the most incredible part of it all is, how did this country recover from this?
And it has recovered so well. Just from what we've seen, and we've only just arrived, it is probably the cleanest city in Africa that I've ever seen. I can't wait to explore more of it.
With Top Travel, we try to give you an honest account of what we see and what we do. And if you go to Rwanda and Burundi, you have to touch on their past. And unfortunately, their past involves one of the greatest genocides that ever took place. So that was our starting point, the Genocide Memorial. From the Genocide Memorial, we wanted to showcase what happened and how Rwanda has now changed. That process of transformation and reconciliation and making peace with one another is so important to the success of the small country.
On the 6th of April in 1994, exactly the same month, exactly the same year that South Africa became a democracy, the Hutus started murdering the Tutsis and Tutsi sympathizers.
And in the space of 100 days, between 800,000 and 1 million Tutsis were slaughtered by Hutu militants. While this happened, the entire world just looked on, stood by, and did absolutely nothing. Arthur, I was about 15 or 16 years old when the genocide happened, and I don't really understand what took place. Who were the Hutus? Who were the Tutsis? What was Rwanda like before the genocide, and what ignited all of this?
Actually, Rwanda as a country is made up of 3 ethnic groups, making it the Tutsi, the Hutu, and the Twa. And these people lived in harmony and lived together. A culture was one, we speak the same language. And then when you talk about the genocide, this is an ideology that was ignited in the era of colonialism, where those 3 ethnic groups, mainly the Tutsi and the Hutu, were told that the ethnic group called the Tutsi could be eliminated and you could also take over and rule the country.
When the Belgians took over, they solidified these categories of Hutu and Tutsi by mandating that there would be identity cards, and that created the divide. Suddenly people were typecast.
This is one of the type of identity cards introduced by the colonial rule to identify who you are through your ethnic group.
Everyone was Rwandans. Why did they separate it to 3 different groups?
For easy identification, because the plan was already there to eliminate the Tutsi ethnic group. So this alone, identification, would make it easier for them to identify actually which ethnic group you came from.
For me, the visit was severely moving. It was shocking, it was disturbing, and it was a reality check that I almost didn't want to experience.
Somebody once asked a question to the head of UN, who was based in Rwanda at the time, "Do you still believe in God?" And he replied, I absolutely believe in God, because for 100 days I lived with the devil.
For me, the worst was when we went to the center of the memorial and sat down on benches and looked at normal photographs of people that had lost their lives. Snapshots of people with their children, with their families in normal civilian clothes, outside their homes, their churches, at work, doing activities, hugging, kissing. That gave the genocide a face for me.
Has all been forgiven?
Surely I think now we're forgiven, and we run on a theme of just forgiveness and reconciliation and genocide never again in Rwanda.
You have to understand what their history was to be so impressed by what they are now. But wow, my heart was broken that day.
Stay tuned. Jeannie and Janez visit Hotel Rwanda. Experience the streets via motorbike taxi, as well as the city's vibey nightlife.
So how does a country that's lost 1 million of its people, almost 20% of its population, in 1994, recover and flourish and become what it is today? It's probably the most remarkable turnaround in the history of the world.
It rains here every afternoon. Okay, we're here.
We're not staying here, we're staying at the 5-star Serena Hotel.
No, we're not staying. Oh, Janez, this is Hotel Rwanda, the Hotel Rwanda.
From the movie?
Yes, Don Cheadle, and you were so taken by the genocide that I thought I'd give you some history.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
After the Genocide Museum, I thought this is something Janez would appreciate, because he loves history and he wants to really submerge himself in the story. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
How are you doing?
Very
You
well,
all right?
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us.
Nice to see you.
This is the infamous Hotel Rwanda.
Exactly.
We want to know why so many people were kept safe here.
So a lot of people were kept safe here because actually the people wouldn't attack Hotel de Mille. There was a lot of foreigners. Basically, it was a place where at that time people were safer than in the outside, basically.
How many people were kept here and where did they hide away?
So we had basically more than 2,000 people who were hiding here. More than 2,000 people for the whole 100 days. And they were hiding everywhere. Basically in the rooms, in the basement, in the corridors. Everywhere there would be a little bit of space for people to hide, they would go and hide there.
Is this the original pool from the movie?
This is the original pool from the story, not from the movie. Yeah, the movie wasn't shot here. It was shot in South Africa. But this is the pool where people used to come and take water to survive, basically to drink, to shower, to wash clothes, to cook, everything.
It was pure survival.
Pure survival.
It was quite chilling walking around this modern hotel that's now been renovated and thinking back that not that long ago, this was a hotel of refuge, but part of Rwanda's history.
Transport in Africa is big business. In South Africa, we have the minibus taxis. In Zanzibar and Tanzania, we saw the tuk-tuks. And here in Rwanda are the motorbikes.
These guys are everywhere, it's crazy. You know, the moment they see us, there's just hundreds that flock towards you. I think they want the money. But you know what, it's actually quite a daring thing to do. I think we should take one of them and go for a bit of a cruise.
Yeah, I think so. In most cities in the world, you can never find a taxi. In Rwanda, you just pull out a camera. Next thing, there's millions around you.
Let's hop on. Motorbike taxis are the biggest thing in Kigali. You don't see a lot of car taxis. The taxis that the locals are using are motorbikes.
This is quite funny, actually. I'm a little bit scared, I'm not going to lie.
You look
These
sexy.
guys are like kamikazes. They just weave through the traffic. It's mad. Heels and all, I hopped on that bike. And Janez and I had a really good time because we were able to hold a full conversation.
The first feeling I had driving through Kigali was smiles on people's faces, people were on a mission, and there was positive vibes. What a happy place.
So Janez's driver, if you have a close look, his cell phone is slotted into his helmet and he's chatting on the phone the whole time.
I don't know how safe that is, but I'll just go with the flow. The dude was just on his cell phone, chatting to a mate, chatting to another mate, picked up another call, and there we were, cruising the streets of Kigali. Whoa! Hey, how's that for a
Okay, I'm done. I
adrenaline
think
rush?
I'm
Thank
done.
you, guys.
Oh, thank you
Oh, that was brilliant.
very much.
I actually believe that these taxi bike guys are like the cool cats of Rwanda, picking up all the hot chicks along the way, cool vibe, hot bike. We were so blown away by our first impressions of Rwanda that we wanted to experience Rwandan nightlife.
So we headed out, and boy, did we find a real gem, Republica. Solange, I've got to tell you, when we thought we were coming to Rwanda, we never imagined that the nightlife and the restaurants and the vibe would be so modern and so advanced and so awesome.
It is. And Republica happens to be the best and finest African cuisine we have in Rwanda. We opened the place 10 years ago with my brother, and the place has been successful from the first day up until now.
You know, I'm so impressed by this hotel. I wasn't expecting to find a hotel of this caliber in Kigali of all places.
No, me neither. It's the only 5-star actually in Kigali, in Rwanda for that matter.
Hey.
Sorry,
Hi, Denise.
Hi, very well. How are you doing?
Fantastic.
We are loving the 5-star luxury.
Kigali Serena has been part of the growth in Rwanda. And for the last so many years, it's the only 5-star hotel. We have 148 rooms. We have prime rooms, junior suites, executive suites, and a presidential suite. We also have a beautiful swimming pool, a gym, a spa. I hope you get to see all these facilities with the little time that you have on your hands. I have 2 different rooms, both very nice. I'm not sure who's going to take what, so...
I'll go that one, thank you.
That's the one I wanted to choose. It's unfair. Come on, give it to me. Be nice to me.
I don't think so.
Don't worry, I'll take that one.
Well,
Thank you
they're
so
all
much.
very nice rooms. I'm sure you'll get to enjoy both of them.
Thank you very much.
You are most welcome to the Serena and to the lovely room.
Oh, Sunday, this is glorious. Thank you very much. It's happened again. I actually feel quite bad because I always get the better room.
So I lay down in my presidential suite, looked at my watch, and I thought, oh, she'll be here in 5 minutes. Oh, there she is. Come in. So apparently, Jeannie actually thought that she got a bigger room than me, and out of the kindness of her heart, she was going to come upstairs and offer me the bigger room. And then she saw that I was in the presidential suite and freaked out. How's that for a mood swing? 3, 2, 1.
Listen, I can understand that you've got the suite, but the fact that you've got that wardrobe is just ridiculously unfair. I mean, I'm the one that travels with all the clothes. I think they got my room wrong, mixed up with Janez's. Because there's no way that could have happened on purpose.
When we return, Jeannie and Janez visit a coffee mill to make their own blend, chat with Rwanda's head of tourism, and then it's gorilla trekking time.
Millions of people all over the world cannot begin their day unless they have a cup of coffee. In fact, even more people can't get through a full day unless they have more coffee.
I'm one of those people.
You are absolutely one of those people. So we're on a mission to find some of the finest coffee in the world, and apparently this place, 30 minutes outside of Kigali city center, is one of those places.
And I'm on a personal mission to make the perfect blend. Our blend. A little bit of J and a little bit of J.
Do you think they'll let us make a J&J blend?
I hope so.
That is amazing.
Hello? Anyone home? Coffee is one of Rwanda's biggest exports and a huge source of revenue for the country, that and tourism. So it made sense to me that we go and visit a typical Rwandan coffee mill.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, I'm Jeannie.
Nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too. We were hoping to perhaps make our own coffee blend and learn the process of making the finest cup of coffee in the world.
Yes, you're on the right spot actually, but we have the whole process. I can show you the whole process, and we're definitely gonna roast and have a cup of coffee. Come.
want it. I want to see what you make. She's been begging for a scale all trip. Go. I got you. That's not bad, 50 kilograms. It's not bad.
You are so karma. Bad karma. Oh wow, this looks impressive. You look very young to have such a big factory.
This is a family business, and actually with all of around preparing for the season, which is starting February, we own all over 9 washing stations in all 9 regions of the country of Rwanda.
How much coffee is produced here? I mean, how many tons or kilograms of coffee is actually made?
As green beans finish to be loaded, to be shipped, this year we did 1,500 tons of coffee, of green coffee.
I always thought that coffee beans were those dark, little hard beans. Turned out I was wrong. I thought coffee was like the color of your shirt, but you mentioned that it was green.
Before, when you take out the parchment, the coffee is green before it's exported. Then the roasters are the one that they roast it and then it becomes brown.
Coffee goes through like 7 or 8 filtration processes just to clean it. I had no idea that the machinery involved in cleaning coffee was so, intensive and extensive.
So Jeannie, this is the green coffee before it's roasted.
Oh. It's quite strange actually smelling coffee when you smell these beans because they don't look like coffee. It looks like lentils or something.
Yeah, we're gonna roast it and we're gonna make it a coffee that you could be able to drink, and it has the smell of coffee, the real coffee.
So we can start making our own blend now?
Definitely we can.
We went coffee roasting. Now, I have a problem, for one, with listening. I don't listen very well, and I'm not great with authority. So while the explanation was going on, I was thinking of creating this great J&J blend.
I'm roasting coffee. No, you didn't.
You can't do that. It's the wrong way. You gotta go through and then come back down.
The man's like a bull in a china shop. Can't he just keep still and listen to me? Oh wow, that's so much smarter.
A strong man.
Oh!
We put the beans through the top of this giant machine that then roasts the coffee, goes up to a temperature of 200 degrees Celsius.
And then one of those coffee beans will pop like popcorn. And that's when you know that it's ready to come out. It's definitely ready. I heard it pop.
No, I don't think it's ready yet. I like it strong.
Smell that. It's the J&J blend. It's got to be a medium blend. Oh, so as we opened that thing and all the coffee beans came pouring out, the smell was just glorious. We've finally done it.
Coffee testing, it's actually called cupping. So, like the way they do wine testing, so you get the coffee, and we put some coffee here.
That's quite a big spoonful.
Yeah.
It's going to be a strong coffee.
Because you want to get the taste out of it, and we're going to scoop some of the coffee up. Let me show you how we do this. And then we pour the water. After we put the water, we let the coffee settle down, and it comes up, and then we scoop up the top, but we're going to leave it to cool for a minute.
Remy, you work in the coffee industry, but are you a big coffee drinker?
I'm absolutely a big coffee drinker. I drink about 3 to 4 cups a day.
How amazing is that coffee tasting process? I simply thought that you make a nice cuppa, put a little milk in it, sit back, enjoy. If it's a good one, it's good. But it's like fine wine.
Rwandan coffee, and I drink a lot of coffee. It's so smooth and flavoursome.
Oh, J&J Coffee, Joffy.
Brought to you by Ines.
Ines.
That is a good...
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Somebody's got to seal the deal. You can do it. In the middle of the city, they've got this beautiful statue in this honorary area, I suppose, of a woman who's dressed in her traditional wear. And this is there to honor the women of Rwanda because they've played such an important role in the development of Rwanda. In fact, they've got more women in their legislature than anywhere else in the world. They have 64% women leading that country.
Rika, we're standing on top of the RDB, which is the Rwanda Development Board, and I'm completely blown away by Kigali because everywhere you look, there's just buildings going up. Well, what is happening in this country?
Well, the country is growing. I think that's what's happening. 20 years ago, probably people thought Rwanda was dead. But since then, a lot has been happening, especially in the construction. But also just the people, living again. What was hope is actually now being implemented.
It's quite cosmopolitan. There's a lot of foreigners walking around. How easy is it for a guy like me to rock up here and start a business?
It's actually very easy. You can open up a business in 6 hours, actually in this building, just on the ground floor. So it would be great for you to apply and then come back for it in 6 hours. So yeah,
in 6 hours?
6 hours. We've done a lot of reforms, making it easy for foreign direct investment to come into the country, but just also for local investments. There's a recent report done by the World Bank, which placed Rwanda as the 32nd easy place to do business in the world and the second in Africa.
The fact that they're so interested in positive development in their country, a lot of those buildings are completely eco-friendly. There's biozones going up. You know that you're not even allowed plastic in the country. Everything's got to be paper bags, no plastic allowed in Rwanda.
I actually can't believe this. I've got goosebumps because I'm so excited about what we are going to be doing today. We're in northern Rwanda. It's known as the food basket of the country because the soil is so fertile. We're surrounded by about 5 different volcanoes. Now this is the natural habitat of the gorillas.
You know, I've always fancied myself your regular Diane Fossey, and ever since the movie Gorillas in the Mist, I've wanted to come and spend time with these glorious creatures. Today is that day.
There's only 880 left in the wild, and we are so special because we're going to be following the
Amahoro group.
Amahoro group.
You know, there's 19 in this group. Some of them are babies. I want a little gorilla baby as a pet.
Let's go find them. You know, you face it. You speak to anyone across the entire world, and you say, guys, I'm going to Rwanda to go walk with the gorillas. Everyone's going to be like, oh, I've always wanted to do that. Most of us have watched Gorillas in the Mist. We all know what it's about. That alone is going to be one of the most special experiences ever.
Hello, Francis.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, Francis. Jeannie, lovely to meet you.
It's nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too.
We are so excited to go and see the gorillas.
That's good news because I'm very sure I will see the gorillas for today.
How are we going to find them?
The way we find the gorillas is there is a team of trackers. So this is the area we like to find the gorillas, but I can't exactly say where they are. So we sent a team of trackers to go to find the gorillas. They have to start. We left the group the day before they follow the trail. That's why I have this radio with them. We keep in communication. Others, if they don't go there and they keep in communication to them, we can't know where they are going. So we can have days and days looking for them. But what I know now, they are following the trail. In a few hours, we'll be knowing where we are going. They know where we are going, so we'll see these gorillas.
Next week on Top Travel, Jeannie and Janez continue their gorilla trek, getting a little closer than expected. They explore a bat cave, visit majestic Lake Kivu, and travel the Congo-Nile Trail. They flex their culinary muscles with an outdoor cooking lesson, and then it's off to the island of Mauritius.